Hello there, it's March again, and you know what time that is? Well, Easter, but also MARCHintosh. In previous years we dealt with a Performer 475, and last year we dealt with a 2300C and a Duo dock, though the second half of that is still yet to be forthcoming. This year I've decided to be a little bit different. We're not going to focus on a machine per se, but we are going to build something. One word of warning, unfortunately I contracted a cold and portions of this were filmed with my voice sounding less than optimal. Now you might have seen my setup from previous MARCHintoshes. Well, this is how it looks at the moment. The 475 is now on top of the Duo dock, as well as the thing that's right next to it currently is what we're actually going to be focusing on in this video. So let's take this to the desk and I'll explain exactly what I'm doing a bit more clearly. So what we have in front of us here is my Apple Optical drive. I believe it's the 600 CD. Hang on, just got to check. 600E. Nearly there. But yeah, it's basically the optical drive I use with the Performer 475, and it's fine, there's nothing wrong with it. It connects over SCSI, it's wonderful. The only thing about it is that if you want to use other things, you've got to stack them on top. So for example, here is the zip drive, that would go on top, and here's another zip drive just for an example. But you see the problem, it just wobbles around, and when you consider you've got like cables on the back and whatever else, you can easily just knock it over, things can just get shoved around. And there may be other things I want to add to this, so that's not going to work. Maybe there's a better way to make a more stable drive stack. I have the solution, I think. Okay, so back to 2025 now. As you can see, that was pretty bad, that clip. I was going to re-record it, but then I thought, you know what, I just cannot be bothered. So yeah, that's how I sounded back then in 2024, whenever it was. So, I was going to show you the unit that I got originally, but I found in the meantime a much better example. And this one is really good compared to the original. Let's look at it now. So here it is, here's the unit. It doesn't look too bad, it's got a couple of issues there, of course. This is it. So what this essentially is, this is one of those CD or DVD, in this case DVD duplicator units. You shove a DVD in there and then it duplicates by however many drives you've got, in this case 3. This is the second one. The first one I had wasn't all that good. It had some cracking up the top, and it was quite obviously when you were taking the case off, it had yellowed that much, the plastic was just crumbling away. It was pretty bad, honestly, but I found this one. It looks a lot better, and this is ripe for some shenanigans. Try and guess how many times it took me to say that. I did actually try and get one of those SCSI enclosures, but for some reason, when you could find them, they were sky high. I did find one which I regret not buying a couple of years ago, which was like 50 quid. I don't know why they're so difficult, but one of these things, I mean, hell, how many people are going to require duplication of optical discs now? So might as well use it for something useful. So let's have a look round back. Round back, you can tell it just kind of gives away its sort of SCSI enclosure kind of history there. This one does actually have the SCSI sockets on the outside, even though the drives inside are not. They're going to be like IDE or something. The other one didn't, and of course, well, that's pretty useless for the task at hand, and it was an incredibly difficult job to find ports or something to add to the back of it. As you'll see a bit later on, I got the wrong ones anyway. But alongside that, you've got your SCSI device selector, and you have some ports over here that would have been for an optical drive. I do actually have some ports for this. You probably want to look inside, right? There's not an awful lot to see. I mean, you've got the actual control board at the top. You can't really see down into it, but there is this hard drive. I'd be interested in taking a look at what's on there. I mean, knowing my luck, it'll be blank, but maybe there's some old images stored on there, because when you sort of feed it in at the front on the controller, it probably either uses this for a temporary storage, or maybe there's even like residual storage, so you may not even need the initial disk. You can just keep on producing clones. On the side, you've got a ample rat's nest of cables. That's good to know. If we look on this side, this is the stuff that I needed to know about. These are the SCSI connectors, and you can see down into it, there's the, I don't know if you can actually, that's the IDE ribbons of the other drive. So they just completely ignored these and bundled them out the way, which is good. You can see as well, it's probably not too obvious at this angle because it's incredibly difficult getting the camera in there. You've got these little things here. Now, they actually would normally have pins to go to SCSI selection. There are currently no cables at all, so the SCSI selector on the back is probably going to be fairly useless. I'll just have to set them on the actual drive itself, which is not a problem really. It just means that if ever you want to sort of change this, you've got to open the damn thing up again. But I think what we should do is kind of have a look at the parts we're going to put in this thing. Okay, so the first thing we're putting in here is a zip drive. Nothing too special about it. There is a problem with this zip drive, but I will tell you later. It works fully, probably. But yeah, it's not quite the one I wanted to put in, but yeah, zip drive. Woo! Next up is going to be this 2GB Jazz drive. Now, this isn't the only one of these I have. I have another one, for just in case it doesn't work for whatever reason. Odd thing about this is one of these cost about $150 from America. Came in a box with a cable and a SCSI card, very nice. The other one cost 15 quid, or was it 20? It was ridiculously low. That's just eBay for you. I don't know which one was which, but it's a little bit of a dilemma, because see, that one is not as orange or yellowed, but it's got a dirty old drive door. This one is the opposite. It's got a nice clean drive door, but it's probably needs retrobrighting. I'll put one of these in. I don't really know which, and just means we'll have some jazz functionality, something I've not really experienced before. Next up is an optical drive. Now, I had thought about taking apart the Apple one and just shoving the drive in there, but I figured it was a pristine example that's honestly got nothing wrong with it, so the best thing to do really is to forget that idea and just get something else. This Yamaha unit should do just fine. I don't know what else to say about it. It's an optical drive. The next thing I'm going to try and put in is one of these. I figured this stack could be used for something useful, like you've got the zip, the jazz, optical drive, things that Macs would often have anyway. And then there's this, which also means that I can read discs, take images of them, boot them up, do whatever I want. Let's have a quick look. So there's actually a disc in there. I put that in. It's the old 4GB disc that came out of the Performer when I was trying to experiment with it. I'm probably going to have to take this out, but yeah, so we're going to try putting a caddy in there. Just means that if I want to read a disc, all I do is I just pull the thing out, put the disc in there, slide it back in, and then I can read it, either for, as I say, disc archival purposes or for cloning or something like that. And the last thing I'm going to put in there is this, which would have been more obvious, but they put the label right over the picture of what that is. So since I was going to show you anyway, let's have a look. So what this is one of those drawers that you can put in a 5 1/4 inch bay. It is the wrong colour, of course. It's black rather than beige, but I do have a solution for that. But it just opens up like so. You can store things in it, basically. I wasn't really sure what to put in the other bay. Now this could be swapped out in time for something else, like, I don't know, a SideQuest drive perhaps. But that's basically everything I'm putting in it. There are a few accessories though. There are, of course, like drive brackets, like there's one there, which is probably where the jazz is going to go into. There's that kind of thing there, as well as I bought like a SCSI cable, although really that's not necessary at all. And there were these things here, which the other unit didn't have the SCSI ports on the back, as you know, and my mind's eye didn't sort of remember correctly. So what these actually are, I'll just get one out for you. They're basically just these things. They can output to a standard sort of 25 pin socket, and then they just take an internal, and they would have been mounted in the back of it. Of course, this wasn't the right type anyway, so it doesn't make any difference, but these will be useful for something else, I guess. And now, because you really wanted this, an unscrewing and disassembly montage. Don't you just love these? Don't worry, this whole thing's chaptered, so if you don't like these things, just skip ahead. It's probably for the best anyway. Now that's going to be interesting to look into for absolutely sure. Good God, look at the mess this has left on there, manhandling that thing about. I mean, I needed a new mouse pad anyway, but Jesus, what a mess. So just before we actually put the drives in there, we just need to do a little bit of assembly work. I've got to do things like add brackets and whatnot, then we'll be ready. Well, I managed it, but this side will only take one screw. No idea why, but it's done. Okay, so I mentioned I had a solution for this thing, but of course I can't be bothered to paint it, I don't have the space anyway, so I've got a different solution for that. Rather than paint it, I've got this, which is like beige vinyl. I have no idea how this is going to go, but we're going to try and cover the front of this with the vinyl. Let's have a go, I guess. It's hard to get a good angle on the camera here, so make it that wide by, I don't know, maybe about that much. Right, okay. This is where it all goes wrong and I rage quit, I bet. Right, okay. So far so good. Plan is just to stick the drawer into it. Hey! Right, then we just fold. Right, so we're just... looking good already. Actually, how about I just come back to you when this is done, because this is way too suspenseful. You know what? That actually did not turn out too bad. I mean, there's little corners here where you can sort of see it, but when that's in the drive bay, you're not going to see that. I'm going to call that a success. With that out of the way, it's time to add the drives to the case. I've sped this up, of course, for your delectation and delight because, well, construction montages are no more interesting than disassembly montages. Unless you disagree, debate in the comments. And there's the finished article. I think it looks quite nice. I mean, varying different shades of beige, of course. The one thing I like the most, though, is the drawer. It's incredibly useful for storing things like the blue SCSI, for example. Okay, so we're on the Mac. Had a little bit of a startup problem there. It just wasn't producing a picture. Even though I tested it last night, all I did is I booted the 475 up just to check everything was alright. And it was a bit weird then as well, but I got it working. It's protesting about the clock a lot and it keeps setting it back. And I had to do a PRAM reset just before to get the display to show up because it just was not showing anything. It's weird though because that battery was replaced 2 or 3 years ago when I actually did the service on this, so maybe it's defective, maybe I held it for too long. I don't know, might have to pop a new one in there, but anyway, that's not what we're looking at here. So, we've got this open and the drive, you can probably hear in the background, is bloody noisy. I think that's a candidate for a fan swap or something like that. Anyway, let's have a quick look at Lido and let's just see if it detects any devices. Hey, look at that! Obviously then, that's fantastic. I don't have to adjust anything. That's brilliant. It sees the zip, the optical, and the jazz. There's no hard drive volume there because I'll test that in another video, I think, because there was actually a purpose for that one. What I'm going to do though is I'll test the zip drive first, just so we can see if that works. Alright, let's just stuff the first one in. And now begins the waiting game. These things are not quick. Ooh! There it is. Zip drive. Detected. There's a bunch of pictures on this thing. Hang on a sec. Let's have a look at what this is. These were supposed to be empty. We've got like some unexpected data archaeology on our hands here. Oh, this is going to probably take a while. Oh, X that. Some kind of model railway set. Yeah, these discs were definitely supposed to be empty when I bought them, so yeah, shouldn't be anything on there. I think it's just someone's holiday pics that they've just forgotten to take off or something like this. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, looks like London. So it looks as if these dates are correct, somebody was using this potentially up to about 2006. Man, oh man, it wouldn't have been probably with this Mac, it probably would have been with something else, but like, damn, you were using zip disks up till then. Neat, I guess. Alright, disk number 2 has a PC program on it called 50 Ways, whatever the hell it is. I might extract that to my main PC and see what the heck that is, but yeah, these are probably just PC formatted disks for the moment. They can be formatted into Mac, no problem. I mean, I don't know. I can't even remember why I got them. I think I just needed them to test it with this or something a long time ago. Maybe it was forward planning. I don't know. And disk number 3 just appears to have a copy of like stuff it deluxe on there. Well, I've already got that on this system, so I don't know what it's for. I was going to try saving to this, because it's all very well reading it, but it's I need to know if it's going to actually write the thing. Let's do the oldest one in computing history. Damn it. There we are. Think that's saved? Yeah, it did. Or did it? Interesting. Let's just drag this log file on here, see if this does anything. That's really weird. Hang on a sec, let's try something else. It could just be that particular document reader doesn't like it. Alright, so this is like a photo editor. Let's see if we can do anything with this. Alright, let's save this. Okay, let's just quit out of that. Right, it has saved something. What I find interesting about this is that the files I saved in there are actually gone. And there's this other desktop folder, which is... not sure I understand that, but let's have a look at this anyway. Specified file could not be located. Right. And all the files that I saved there are completely gone. Alright, alright. Okay. I think there could be a problem. So I'm just going to restart this because I don't really know what's going on with it. Well, it appeared to auto-eject. Now, it could have just been an issue with that disk. I'm going to try a different disk. So what I'm going to try doing, actually, I've just realised I've been really stupid. The disk is formatted for PC. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not even formatted for... oh, jeez, okay. Just going to try launching the iOmega tools and then just see if we can actually get this disk formatted again. Right, okay, well, it still sees the disk. Good. ZIP 100, format for macOS standard. Long erase? No. Can't be bothered. 15 seconds is good. I'm good with that. Operation successful. Alright then. If we just do a quick get info, that should be correct. Yep, macOS standard, so it's formatted for Mac now. That's probably why I couldn't save anything to it. Although it is interesting as to why it's even got this on here, but you know. Right, so there's no other files on there. It says that it's saved it. Let's just close that. Open it back up again. Yep, still there. Operation could not be completed. The specified file could not be located. Alright, so I'll have to do some testing on the other disks as well, but either that means that this disk is bad, which it could very well be, or the drive is bad and it cannot actually do anything regards writing to disks. But that's a bit of a problem. So let's just try the Jazz drive. Alright, I've got a little bit of a problem. The Jazz drive did work, but unfortunately it seems to have gotten stuck. Like, I tried to format it and then tried to eject it, but unfortunately the disk is stuck in there. I'll insert a bit of footage, hopefully if I remember later on, about what it's doing. But yeah, I should not have put that disc in there. It encountered a bit of resistance, and I just put it in there thinking, oh, it'll be fine, but I didn't actually have it recording at the time. But literally, I could see it in this panel. I could see it, you know, it was fine. I couldn't format it though, and unfortunately, it just seems to be stuck in there. It's a 1 GB disc. I would have assumed the 2 GB drives could read it. I don't know. I've messed up, I think. So the Jazz drive appeared to be working, and well, it's not anymore, unfortunately. This is going swimmingly, isn't it? I guess we should probably test out the optical drive. Right, so I'm just going to try this out. I've got a disc with some CD audio on it. I mean, I don't have a speaker connected to this currently, so there's no way to get the audio out there. And I just remembered during the build, I've forgotten to put the audio ports on. What a dickhead. I'll have to do that later, but let's just see if it actually works. There's got to be some goodness comes out of this, surely. Alright. Alright. I think this is the universe's way of telling me to stop. But I've run out of time pretty much, because it's the 31st today. It's the last day of March. It needs to be posted today. I don't have time to work on this anymore, sadly. This has been a complete waste of time, it looks like. Back to me at the desk, I guess. Well, so here we are again. Potentially another unsuccessful project. The zip drive doesn't appear to work. It doesn't seem to write to anything. I mean, it could be the discs, it could just be the drive. I don't really know. I'm going to do some more experimentation on that. The Jazz drive is physically stuck in there, so I'm going to have to take that apart and force it out somehow. I have reached out to the 68K MLA forum, put a post on there just to ask about potential fixes, but as of, nearly 7 PM on the 31st, I still haven't got an answer. So we'll keep monitoring that as well, see where we get. The optical drive doesn't work either. It's probably going to require some kind of driver or extension or something. This I didn't manage to test because I was going to leave that till another video anyway, because it's just a hard drive, so it's not exactly difficult. I think the only thing that's got any degree of success is the drawer, but even that just doesn't even fit because that's its natural state. It actually sticks out. When I push it in, that's how it's supposed to look. But, you know, such is life. I don't seem to have much luck with this. It's honestly really disheartening and really disconcerting when all of this happens, but I've run out of time anyway, so I've got to post this video whatever happens. It's pretty much nearly 7 PM on the 31st, so I'm cutting it super fine. I've probably got like another hour worth of encoding and uploading to do. It'll go up, but thank you if you've watched this far. I know a lot of my audience are only too happy to see a video from me. I would say I need time off from actually doing videos, but I haven't done that many. But the thing is, it's the 1st of April tomorrow, which is actually the 10th anniversary of the channel being properly used as a channel. And I haven't got anything recorded for that, so I'm just going to do a short and then possibly another video after it. But yeah, again, thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you in another video, hopefully a more successful one.